What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Jimmy James 59, and I have a bit of an interesting video for you here. I did about a few months ago, I did a video where I baselessly speculated about what I thought the rumored new DLC, the new expansion pack, was going to look like. And this video is something, maybe not, it might be a follow-up to that. It's really hard to say. I'm going to jump into that, and I'm going to tell you that the title of this video, right, is not clickbait, right? I really am. I'm not the kind of person who tries to entice people in the videos by promising more than what I actually know. I think that's very important. But you may have noticed, right, when you just saw the update to the game, talking about the Women of History event, and I'll actually talk about that in a second because I want to promote that and give it some publicity, right? There's actually something that you may have missed that could get very interesting, right? So let's first go ahead, right? I want to talk about the Women of History event that is going to be coming out. And so, right, back by popular demand, celebrating Women's History Month, right? We have a brand new event that's going to be, well, I mean, you know, a brand new event that's going to be going on here, right? And there'll be some interesting things, right? You can see new cheat codes, the Queen visual to replace the King, right? Princess Yoda, right? Not doubt, right? Going to be replacing the Gabedo. That'd be pretty cool. And it's going to go on from today through April the 5th. And we can see, right? We can see with the training Gabedo, you can unlock the Princess Yoda visual replacement. So, right, so, you know, queue up your Malians, right, in your for your Civ. You can unlock some profile icons, get the grab your pitchforks cheat code, right? Okay, if you're into using cheat codes, playing against the AI or some you know, unranked lobby multiplayer stuff, that could be kind of fun too, right? And so it'll be a really interesting event. And now we have some permanently added icons. That's pretty cool. I really like the artwork in Age of Empires, right? They do a really good job with this. And so this looks like it's going to be a pretty cool. There's also good artwork here. So it looks like this is going to be pretty cool, right? We're going to have a really nice Women of History event in the game. Now, what I want to get to, though, right, is, and I want to jump here into the game, so I'm going to switch scenes here for just a moment, right? And, right, recently you should have seen, right, that your game, you know, advertised this event in the news section, right? Now, because in AOE2 DE, right, they post a lot of things on here that, you know, really doesn't seem all that new, like, welcome to the game, 2019. Yeah, right. Like, got it. Like, I mean, it's nice that they welcome people to the game, but as you can see from the timestamp and the date, this post is like over 2 years old. You know, like, this is you know, so it's good that they do this, right? I think that, you know, but at the same time, the point that I want to get at, right? New DLC, Dawn of the Dukes. Yeah, that was, you know, back in a while ago as well. What's the point that I'm trying to make? The point that I'm trying to make is not that, you know, they post too many news things, but that you probably see a lot of these news items, and you probably see it and you go, yeah, click over it, right? I mean, we saw this announcement earlier too, right? And now we have this. However, if you take a look at this limited time event, there's a little nugget in here that I want to scroll down, right? The last line. We'll be back in April with another big update, so keep your eyes peeled for upcoming preview opportunities. Enjoy, right? So there it is, y'all, right? We have it confirmed and in writing, at least, that April, the developers are promoting this as a big update. I don't think the capitalization of update really matters because they capitalize preview too, so I wouldn't read too much into that, right? But they've said that April is going to be another big update, right? So this is where the rumor mill is going to just start brewing up a storm, and who knows? And this is the part of the video where this becomes pretty much entirely baseless speculation, because ever since I did that video where I baselessly speculated about what the new DLC might be about, we really don't know still. I don't think that there's really been any new information hardly, and so there's not a lot to add there though. So here's the thing that we should think about here, right? I think there's well, there's three things, but I actually want to preface it with something else, is that, you know, we really haven't been getting a lot of updates in AOE2 over the last, I would say over the last like 5 to 6 months, right? You know, we had the new DLC, right? The new DLC, Dawn of the Dukes, right? We had that come out. I believe that was August, right? It's a good thing we have this handy news feature here, right? Yeah, we have that last August, and there really wasn't a ton of balance changes that, I mean, there were some that were implemented, but there haven't been a lot. And if you remember, right, early on in the first like year, like 12 months to 16 months of the game, we were getting really substantive balance updates pretty much every month, and that has gone by the wayside a bit. Now, I think that it was both of those things, the high number of updates and the lower number we have. I think that actually both of those things are pretty reasonable, because you got to remember, DE brought us new civilizations, and you know, some of them started a bit overpowered, then became underpowered. Well, we had some overpowered civs, some underpowered civs, and you know, the whole Step Lancer fiasco, right? So, you know, we really needed a lot of updates, and there were civilizations that really needed fixing, actually. And so, you know, one of the things that I think that we forget in the game sometimes is that the game in previous iterations was nowhere near as balanced as it is now. And just to put this in a quantitative perspective here, right, I'm gonna switch scenes just one more time here. Come on. Right, let's switch scenes one more time. Perfect. Okay, yeah, we're doing things on the fly in this video, y'all, right? And just to give you a sense of the win rates of civilizations, so if we look at all elos, right, and we'll divide this up in a minute. Franks have a win rate of about less than 54%, right? About 53. Portuguese are at 45, right? So basically, right, if you take the most winningest civ in the game and the most losingest civ in the game, sorry, Portuguese, right, it's still more or less a coin flip who's going to win. And we can divide this up, right, at the sort of, well, let's call this the intermediate elo, right, 1250 to 1650. This is about 41 to 54. Again, it's still pretty close. And if we take a look at even the highest elo, right, it's about 42 to 56. So that gap grows just a little bit more, right? And so what is, right, and actually, yeah, well, we can look one random map. We'll stay with that right now. So the point that I want to make here, right, is that, right, we have a lot of balance in the game right now. There was definitely a time, if you remember in the days of HD or maybe Voobly, you would have civilizations like Vietnamese and Khmer, I think Portuguese and Malay are probably still down there. You would have, I remember there was a time I looked at Khmer and there was something like 40% or even like in the 30s. It was just some really tough, tough sledding that they were having to do. And so the game is a lot more balanced now than it used to be. And so we really haven't required the same number of updates as we did in the past, right? And so jumping back here into the present, right? What does that mean? Well, there's a few things that we can take from this. One, right, is that they're saying this update is going to be big, right? Now, what exactly does it mean to be big? We don't have that here, but there's a lot of things that we can think about here, right? One is that we could have a lot of balance changes, right, in the game. That's something that I would imagine that probably in this next update, we will see some balance changes, because the fact of the matter is that when we think of the more substantial updates to the game, all eyes are really on the fact that we are going to be looking at balance changes, because that affects all the civilizations, right? And so that's very important. But there's a couple other things maybe flying under the radar here that we might want to consider as well. The first is that we actually might get an announcement, possibly. And by the way, this is all baseless speculation, right? I put baseless speculation in the title of the video. I'm baselessly speculating now, right? There's your alert. So the thing about it, right, is that we may get an announcement when the next DLC is going to come out. Ever since I did that video about it, we really haven't had that much news. So we're kind of still in a holding pattern in terms of this rumored DLC, and it seems like the Steam has really picked up, right? The Steam that we got from looking at Steam, right? A little bit of a joke for you there. Sorry, it's a pretty bad one. But, right, it does really seem like we are going to get a new DLC, and we don't have a lot of information. So that's one thing. The other thing that we might also be getting is that there was a promise a while back of an AOE2 roadmap. This is something that that was hinted at, I want to say in November, in the November update in 2021, right? I'm gonna go ahead and try to find it. This really coincided with I believe it's patch 56005, right? There was a lot of patch notes, and in fact, let me actually just go ahead and bring that up. All right, so we brought it up here, right? And so this was update 56005, right? And so you got to remember, right? At this time, right, Age of Empires 4 is coming out, and there has been, to put it lightly, a lot of anxiety surrounding the relationship between AOE2 and AOE4. And I don't want to get into that right now, but what I want to get into, right, is that, right, the developers mentioned suggested, right, or informed the AOE2 DE community that soon they would be able to share an exciting roadmap for AOE2 DE. Now, some people have delivered there's been some criticism in forums and subreddits and places like that we have not received this roadmap yet. If we look and see, sorry, a lot of scrolling there for you guys, right? The date on this, right? This is November 17, 2021. So it's been over 4 months now. So some people have asked, hey, where's that roadmap? Well, here we have an announcement that there's a big update that is going to come down the pike, right? Okay, so one of the possibilities here, right, is that we might actually get this roadmap in April, right? So it's possible that, again, why am I bringing this up? Well, if the game seems pretty well balanced, right, then what could be the big ticket items in this update, right? If it's not going to be major balance changes to the game, and it might not be because, right, of the balance of the civilizations, right? It could be an announcement about the new DLC, or it might be this roadmap, and who knows exactly what's going to be in it, right? It could be plans of, who knows what could be in it, right? Again, we could baselessly speculate. It might be some kind of a schedule about, the plans for new civilizations. Who knows? It could be, say, a more of a schedule for tournaments, right? And so trying to get a bit more consistency and predictability about when some of the higher level AOE2 tournaments are going to come out, right? Hey, who knows, right? Again, baseless speculation, right? So, but hey, right? They are telling us that it's going to be a big update, right? Now, the last thing I want to say here is that keep your eyes peeled for upcoming preview opportunities. So that means, presumably, that sometime, if the update patch is going to be in April, then, and usually update patches are previewed, right, before they come out, because this is the way we're doing the system now, you know, you might not have to wait until April, right, to get a sense of what might be in it. Now, anything in the preview, right, I don't think would be official, right, and could be different in the balance patch itself. The whole reason that let me stop this. The whole reason that we have this option now of previewing opportunities is because basically we were getting all these balance patches, and what was happening is that we're getting all of these bugs and that just didn't get caught. And so there was a push, right, to kind of get this out there and have people be able to just test it, and eventually, right, we'd find a lot of things, and that actually really helped. I can't remember which bug may have spurned that on. There was a time when I remember there was a really awful bug that happened where the Lithuanian Relic bonus, basically anytime you garrisoned a relic in a monastery, it would give you +1 attack, and if you ungarrisoned it, you would keep the +1 attack. And you had people who were just stacking these incredible bonuses on Lithuanian knights, and it was insane. And anyways, and so that was its own source of commotion, and the developers fixed that pretty darn quickly. The ranked ladder was a bit of a chaotic place there for a few days, but we got it fixed relatively quickly, right? So now we have these previews, and it's a great way for people to not only kind of beta test some things, and so that way we can maybe catch some bugs before they come out, but it's also a way to, you know, these new possible balance changes, kind of see how they play out in a preview mode. So, which this does raise a pretty interesting point here, in that if we are going to have a preview opportunity for this April patch that's being alleged, shouldn't there be balance changes in that? Otherwise, why release an upcoming preview opportunity, right? See, I'm telling you, this is big brain thinking and big brain analysis, right? I'm basically the Sherlock Holmes of Age of Empires here right now, guys. Oh man. You know, but all you know, self-aggrandizement aside, right? Is aggrandizement a word? I'm not even sure, right? But aside from tooting my own horn here, right, and then being a little bit conceited, right? Again, just trying to deduce some things from this, you know, this last sentence they put in here, is that there's going to be an upcoming preview opportunity. It just seems like there's got to be some balance changes that they would want to be previewed so that we could figure out how they play out. Now, again, what's in the preview might not actually wind up being in the balance patch, but I think that since they've been doing this, it's been pretty consistent that what's in the preview tends to make its way into the new patch. So it's interesting, right? And so anyways, so I wanted to share this with you because, and again, it's, you know, not to just baselessly speculate for the sake of it, but because I actually think that this little nugget of information is kind of wedged into an area that you may have not been able to find it immediately, right? And so I know I tend to gloss over the news, but, you know, I wanted to read this one, and I just scrolled down and saw this, and I thought, oh, very interesting. So that's really what I wanted to put out there. I'd be really interested to see in the comments right below, like, or what kind of things do you think could be in this update, right? I've basically speculated in this video. You basically speculate in the comments section with what kind of things are going to be in it. And let's get hyped for, I mean, we should get hyped for all of the events in AOE2. Let's get hyped for the Women's History event, and let's speculate about what's going to be in this possible quote big update that apparently is on the way. Hopefully we are not being trolled or set up here, but if that is the case, all I gotta say is, developers, well played, right? But I don't know, maybe they couldn't sneak this one past old Jimmy Sherlock here. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get to recording my new build order video that is going to be coming out Thursday. So get excited about that. And if you like these baseless speculation videos, right, and you've made it here to the end, I'd really appreciate it actually if you'd let me know, right, by throwing the video a like, and maybe leaving a comment in the comment section that you like seeing things like this. I like to speculate like a crazy person and make predictions, and I'm not afraid to get things wrong. It's I think it's a lot of fun, and hey, you got to go big here. So with that being said, right, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you out there on the ladder. Peace.